Quick intro. The software development lifecycle, SDLC, or the cycle, is a way to get from an idea about a desired software to the release of the actual software and its maintenance. The effectiveness of an internet company, and hence the happiness of its users, fully depends on how effectively each stage of the cycle works and how effectively the stages interact with each other. In this unit, we'll cover a model of the cycle called waterfall, which is used in most software companies because it's the most straightforward way to develop software. If you understand how waterfall works, you'll easily adapt to any other SDLC type like Agile. We're going to go through each stage of the cycle and we'll learn the practical side of each stage, the relationship between different stages. Don't worry if you don't understand all the material right away. We'll be covering a lot of things, and some of them are not easy to grasp right away. On the other hand, there is nothing really complex here, and if you don't understand something, just review the material and you'll get it. This unit is extremely important because it covers the process of software development, and as you remember, quality assurance prevents bugs by process improvement. Software development life cycle starts with the idea about some software and ends up with release and maintenance of the software. Here's what happens. First, we envision what we want to achieve with the software. For example, we want to sell toothpicks online. Then we decide how the software should work and look. Then we develop software. Then we test software. Then we release software to our users. Then we do maintenance, for example, by fixing bugs that were found by our users. Let's check out the corresponding stages of the software development lifecycle. Idea, product design, coding, testing and bug fixes, release, maintenance. Here is the flowchart. Idea, product design, coding, testing and bug fixes, release. Once upon a time in California, or how startups are born. Let's see how software startups are born, and please note that we are not joking here. Well, maybe a little bit. One sleepy Sunday, two friends, John and Paul, both programmers, meet at a sports bar in downtown San Francisco. Their conversation is about one thing that is always discussed in Silicon Valley: how to create a cool startup. The bartender keeps the beers coming and nothing extraordinary is expected to happen, but suddenly Paul moves his head towards John, directs his pointer finger to the wooden ceiling of the bar and says, "Got it." That "got it" meant the birth of another grand software idea, which sometimes can be as ridiculous as let's make a cool website that sells toothpicks. John says, "Wow," and they start writing a business plan. After a couple more beers, their business plan is finished and ready to be presented in front of venture capitalists, or VCs in short. If you have someone in front of you who you think might be a venture capitalist, you can ask him or her two questions. Question 1. Is your office located on Sand Hill Road in Menlo Park, California? Question 2. Do you have $5 million to invest in a cool website that sells toothpicks? If the answer is yes to both questions, that person is a venture capitalist. Don't think that if someone wants to invest $5 million into some dumb project, he's stupid. Although venture capitalists are risk takers, they are smart risk takers. And they just happen to know that after they invest $5 million in a toothpick selling website, somebody might pay $500 million to buy it, or as they like to call it, acquire it. By the way, John Stanford's pal Jerry happens to be a partner at a VC firm. The next day, they all get together at Jerry's Sand Hill Road office. Guys pass their excitement on to Jerry's boss, and a week after that historic event, the first round of financing, that's the first pile of money in the amount of $5 million, is available for spending on the project of the century. Paul, the guy who said "got it," becomes the CEO or Chief Executive Officer, and his buddy John becomes the CTO or Chief Technology Officer. Jerry becomes a member of the board of directors. And now the craziness starts. The new company, Just Wow Toothpicks for You Inc., rents out an office as close as possible to the condo of the CEO, but not too far from the CTO's condo and Jerry's office. In order to buy servers, desktops, Linuxes, Oracles, and hire inspired followers, money is pouring from their bank account like a Himalayan avalanche. Pepperoni pizza and Diet Coke become the everyday food and drink even among the vegetarians and I drink only water types. New lines of code appear with the frequency of bullets from a well-oiled AK-47. Yahoo Messenger becomes the primary means of communication between the spouses of the startup employees and the startup employees who just cannot afford the luxury of going home before 3 in the morning. Each atom of air inside the office is filled with excitement about the project and hopes about future fortunes. Nobody can convince startup employees that their project will most likely fail, just like 90% of startups. But wait, maybe somebody will acquire us. Got $500 million for just wow toothpicks for you, Inc.? As you were hearing that story, you probably noticed that it all started with with an idea. Everything starts with somebody's idea. Software is not something unique in that respect. First you envision, then you implement. Who generates ideas about software? As a rule, ideas come from the folks who work in marketing or product management. But anyone at the company can come up with a great idea that can be implemented as a part of the software. Example? In the case of YouTube, somebody came up with the idea to put thumbnails with related videos to the right of the main video clip. The beauty of that idea is that it makes site users want to watch more videos and thus spend more time on the site. Question: what are other sources of ideas besides the creative thinking of the startup employees? Answer: in many cases, ideas for new functionalities might come from users. For example, our customer sends email to customer support or makes a Facebook post about our software. New contracts. For example, a company starts to work with another credit card processor. Internal data. For example, by analyzing data from the database and log files, we can discover A, how users interact with our website. For example, we can get their behavioral patterns, and B, what social layers and types, for example, age, education, gender, interests, our users represent. Cool features found on competitors' websites. Other sources. Brain positioning. Feature is a wider term than functionality, which we've been using so far. Functionality is the ability to accomplish some task. For example, the functionality or ability of a bottle opener is to open bottles. Depending on the context, the term feature means the ability to accomplish some task or some characteristic of the software. For example, the shopping cart can be called both a feature and a functionality because it is an ability that allows users to store items they want to buy. The color of the shopping cart link can be called only a feature because the color of that link is a characteristic of the software and it does not have functional or task-solving aspects. When in doubt, use the term feature. In a few seconds, I'll share a great way to collect ideas from within the company. But first, let's learn a new term: intranet. By the way, intranet is an internal computer network of the software company. Intranet is used to store documents, for example, test cases, and host software, for example, bug tracking system, that represent internal company business. For example, our test portal is a typical intranet directory with links to useful pages and tools. Okay, a great way to collect ideas from within the company is to create a special web page on the intranet and title it Idea Vault. Everybody in the company should be able to read, edit, and append this page. This page gives everyone an opportunity to express their ideas in an easy and non-obligatory way. It's like brainstorming. You'll be surprised how fast this page will be filled with great stuff because startup people are very creative and love to express themselves. 2 more things about an Idea Vault page. You should clearly communicate that a person should not think twice before putting his idea onto that page. That's the whole point. If you've got an idea, just go ahead and record it. Do it even if you think that the idea might seem stupid, unexpected, or irrational. If you think it's a good idea, bring it on. You should make sure that everyone in your startup knows about the page. Send out an email with a link to the page with an explanation of why your company needs that page. We guarantee that everyone will love your initiative. Why we should QA every stage of SDLC? Here is a fundamental thing that you should always remember. QA engineers should be involved in every stage of SDLC. You can also say we should QA every stage of SDLC. We, QA professionals, are in a unique position because we deal with quality, and if quality of any SDLC stage is poor, the quality of our software will be poor too. Hence, we should be involved in every stage of SDLC. We can help by improving the process, by finding bugs. For example, we can help stage ideas by improving the process of submitting, filtering, and presenting of ideas, by finding bugs in ideas. When you are hired, don't confine yourself to testing and bug fixes. If you're not invited to idea, product, or code reviews, express desire to be involved. Explain why you should be involved. Take initiative, communicate, offer your help, and ask how you can help. Don't perceive yourself as a bug finder, but rather become a passionate quality advocate. Lesson recap. Number 1. The software development lifecycle is the process of taking a desired software product from the idea stage to the release of the actual software and its maintenance. Number 2. Below are stages of the cycle: idea, product design, coding, testing and bug fixes, release, maintenance. Number 3. The idea refers to the purpose of the software or its parts. For example, the idea behind YouTube is to enable users to upload, share, and watch videos via the web. Number 4. Ideas about software can come from different sources: marketing department, product department, anybody within the company, users, new contracts, data from DB and log files, features of other websites, other sources. 5. As a verb, release means the process of passing on some version of the software. As a noun, release means some version of the software that is already passed on or will be passed on in the future. 6. It's smart and productive to create an idea vault on the intranet so employees of the software company can contribute any idea to improving the software without necessity to rationalize or defend their idea. It's a kind of brainstorming session. 7. QA engineers should be involved in every stage of SDLC because we are quality advocates who can contribute to every SDLC stage by process improvement and bug finding.